Namaste and welcome. I am Gloria Grace Rand. So glad to have you with us on another episode of Live, Love, Engage. And today I have a awesome woman who I have come to know over the last few years, who has had a big impact on my life. And her name is Marcella Scherer, and she also has a big impact on helping female leaders, in fact, in developing them. She's an expert in her industry with over 30 years of experience. She's a certified image consultant who has worked with corporations, businesses, high-level entrepreneurs, celebrities, and speakers on the ABCDs of their image, which is appearance, behavior, communication, and digital presence. And Marcella uses her experience of building a team of over 7,000 women. That's amazing. She has developed 18 high-level leaders to a multi-seven-figure business to hone her clients' leadership, interpersonal, and presence skills. And she has, and I can attest to this, an innate ability to see what her clients are missing that is affecting their bottom line by polishing their image and up-leveling their leadership to reach their full potential with high-level success. And she's also a sought-after professional speaker, coach, corporate trainer, and if that isn't enough, an Amazon #1 best-selling author. So really awesome to have Marcella Scherer on the program with us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Gloria. Thank you so much for having me. It's a thrill and a delight to share my passion and to work with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And full disclosure, I am a client of Marcella's, and she has really helped me a lot in polishing my image because it was all over the place. If you look at my old videos on YouTube, it's sad. So hopefully the ones over the last year look a little bit better. So
shining a diamond in the rough. That's all.
Well, thank you.
Brilliant. You're brilliant as you are. You're amazing.
Oh, that is very sweet. I wanted to start off with talking about how does what you wear impact your mindset? I have an idea for me, but I know it's definitely affected mine. But for those people who maybe never really thought about it before, how does what you wear impact it?
Well, actually, there's a lot of science behind it. In fact, Gloria, there's been studies that have actually taken a couple of different groups. And I'll give you the study first because maybe that will enlighten a few or wake people up around how it does impact. But think about when you get up in the morning, and if you are working from home and you just transfer from the bedroom to your office in your pajamas, and you hang out all day, and maybe you take a shower midday or you don't. Maybe you could be really creative because you're super comfortable and there's less structure. But if you're doing any kind of like sales calls or things that require your mind and focus, you might not be as productive. And so here's the study. So what happened is they took a group of men and women. One group, they dressed in professional clothes. They took another group in like sweatpants, hoodies, casual things.
Right.
And they had them on the same task. And they were actually doing negotiations for business. And they did the one set that were dressed up and the other set in their casual clothes, and just guess who was more productive and more closed more sales, right? Can you imagine?
Let me think. I wonder.
But yes, the bottom line is that those that were dressed in their professional wear were at a much higher rate of closing than those that weren't. So if you think about your mindset, depending on who, what task that you're doing, if you're being really creative and you need to be super comfortable, and maybe that's going to work for you. But if you really think about your presentation. So just try it. I encourage you to take the test yourself and try one day of hanging out in your sweatpants and then feeling how productive you are, and another day where you literally get up, get dressed, do your regular routine. For women, get your hair, do your hair, put some makeup on, or at least some lipstick or something, and see how you feel. And at the end of the day, and usually there's marked difference between the two.
Absolutely. And I know that right now, we're dealing with the pandemic and everything. And so there's millions of people who are working from home now who didn't used to be, like my husband is working from home right now, for instance. So, you touched on this a little bit, but does it, I've heard tales, and I think there was even a Saturday Night Live skit somewhere where they were doing like a Zoom call, and there were people, showing up in PJs. And actually, I think I was on some call the other day where somebody was saying they showed up in their, underwear. Okay, they were a yoga instructor, but still it was like just their underwear and doing poses. Like, really? So, so why does it matter? Because it seems like a lot of people still think like, oh, I can just wear whatever. I'm from home. It doesn't matter. Why does it really matter, now, certainly while we're in this and later on?
So that's a really good question, because it'd be so easy just to go with the norm or the new norm, right? Of just falling into that habit. But as humans, we need structure, and we need, systematic things to happen in our life. And one is about the mindset piece. I think that's a really important to have some quote unquote normality in your life, is that you get up, you have a routine. So whatever that might be, it could be your exercise, your meditation, your journaling, like those pieces, as well as, getting dressed like we talked about. Right. But the other reason it's really significantly important is when it comes to your image. So, and your presence. So within 7 seconds of meeting someone, they've already formed 11 different opinions about you. And nowadays, if you're not out networking physically, going to events or prospecting for new clients, or, going to other people's offices and seeing, your clients or working with your team. Right. Now we have to show up online. And so, again, we've got nanoseconds to make that first impression. They're making judgments of bottom line, do they trust you enough that they'd even want to listen to more of what you have to say, or would they do business with you, or how successful you are, and do you quote unquote fit into the category of who they want to do business with. So for example, and again, you always have to know your audience, and that's the most important thing. Yes. If you're a yoga instructor, of course you're going to wear yoga. I wouldn't do yoga poses in my underwear, but tastefully done, right? Yeah. But if you're a coach, if you are a speaker, the way that you show up now and the way that you do things now can be very memorable. And there's a lot of people getting out online right now and want to make that good first impression. And it also speaks volumes, because you've probably heard this saying before, the way that you do one thing is the way that you do everything. Have you heard that before?
Yes, I have heard that before. Yeah.
So if we show up not paying attention to details, let's just say for women, you show up in, your yoga clothes or something really casual, and you're on a professional meeting. Maybe you don't do your makeup, maybe you don't do your hair. What does that say about how you're attuned to details, or that you even care enough about yourself that you're going to show up for the other person? Yeah. Or do you see what I'm saying? It's like you're honoring yourself and honoring the person that you're having a conversation with. Right. It doesn't mean you have to get dressed up in a suit or whatever. Yeah. And I dressed up today because I knew that we were going to be talking, having this interview and, talking to professionals. And like-minded people. So of course I'm going to dress up, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope that answers your question as
Yeah,
to why
yeah,
it matters, right?
yeah, it does. And especially I like the part where you talked about it's not only even respecting yourself, it's respecting the other people that
Mm-hmm.
you're talking to. Because I know if I was coming to, number one, expecting someone to like maybe sell me a product and they show up all, disheveled, it's like, okay, well, you've already lost credibility right off the bat. So you're going to have to really convince me that whatever you've got to offer is going to be worth my while, because it's like you didn't respect me enough to show up
Right,
looking right.
right.
Yeah.
Well, and you think of, let's say you're a financial planner or you're offering a high ticket item and you
Yeah.
really want to attract a higher level client. If you're not at least, dressing to that caliber, it doesn't mean that they have to be as dressed up as you do. You
Sure.
always want to be at least one level, if you will, above your client, because they want to they're coming to you to pay their money
Right.
because you are wise, you've got something that they desire, that they want, and that's the exchange there. So be respectful, show up, look the part, be the part, inside and out. I have a 7-step system that I work with, as you know, with
Mhm.
clients, and it's an acronym, Upscale. And U stands for understand the magnitude of your platform. And
Mm.
so what we have to understand is that, our message is important, and you never know who that message is going to have a ripple effect, how they might remember you years later.
Yeah.
I had somebody on my email list that all of a sudden just emailed me and said, "Oh my God, you said something to me 3 years ago that was so significant." And I'm like, what was it? Like,
Yeah.
when was that? I don't remember, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and you want to be remembered and memorable. So
Mhm.
making that first impression is so important. So P is prepare for performance on and off the stage, if you will, because
Right.
yeah. So for now, our only thing that we go out to is maybe the grocery store, but who knows? Maybe that's where you're going to meet your next prospect,
That's
And
true.
if
Yeah, you never
your
know who you're
your
standing
yoga
6 feet away
clothes,
in
and
line from.
that's right, and you're hiding, in your
Yeah.
clothes, then you're not going to feel confident from the inside to have that conversation with them if you're not showing up at least, in a presentable way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I know the other thing is that you do a lot of work with high level entrepreneurs and speakers and professionals, and the majority of your former business was focused on developing leaders and building large teams. So, how do you actually correlate leadership with image and presence? I think we're kind of skating around it a little bit, but maybe now you can really address that issue.
Well, thank you for that. And so I'm a huge advocate of John Maxwell, who is a leadership guru. And if you're
Yeah.
not familiar with John, he's amazing. I mentored with him and we use a lot of his principles. And one of them, the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, one of them is lifting the lid. And so when, as a leader, if our level of leadership top is 5, and let's say our leadership is a 4, we're going to attract people into our organization, on our team, employees, all that are going to be under usually our level of leadership. Because if you think about the law of magnetism, right, we're all magnets.
Yeah.
And when we, come across at a higher level, then we will start to raise the type of people that we attract into our life. So whether it be clients, high-end clients, prospects, employees, team members, any of that. So you as the leader, we have to raise the bar. You've heard that
Mm.
before, lift the lid. And so when we show up as the best version of ourselves, and we hold that standard for ourselves, one is that it shows self-respect, but two, we start to become a magnet to attract what it is that we desire. And then 3 is that we're modeling for other people. So do not forget that you in Upscale is understand the magnitude of your platform. As a leader, you know, what are you modeling for other people? So it could be, you could be a solopreneur and you're the leader of your family. And so what are you modeling for your kids, you know?
Yeah.
Are you on the phone, you know, at dinner? Are you dressing in your pajamas all day and working from the house? You know, those little things, even though it may seem a little bit insignificant, they really do have an impact. And other people are watching you, whether it be on social media or whatever, and they're following what you do. And if you are consistent in the way that you show up, not just, you know, in what you're wearing, but I talk about your image and presence, meaning what you're wearing, your behavior, your communication, your consistency. Those are all pieces of our communication, you know, and you know, as a leader, we have to hold the bar high for ourselves if we want other people to follow.
Yeah,
really what leadership is. It's about influence, right? Yeah. Bottom line, that's all it is.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. And yeah, that showing up in a certain way, it really does make a difference. I mean, because I've seen that in my own professional career when I'm showing up, number one, and being consistent about it, and in the way that not only I look, but also in the messaging that I have, then it really does attract you. I mean, I've gotten speaking opportunities. In fact, I've got a speaking opportunity this week, as a matter of fact, because I know that the person, she commented on a video I did on my Facebook page the other day, and it was like the next day she's like, oh, would you like to, you know, speak to our networking group online, you know? And it was like, sure, absolutely.
Right.
So it's doing that. And I really, it's so important, especially when you touched on about being, you know, being a leader in your family, because that's important too. And I think especially even right now, especially there's a lot of, you know, whether you are a business owner or even if you're, maybe you had a job and now you're possibly considering becoming a business owner because you have to. And if you've got kids at home and you're trying to model good behavior for them. So I love that. Can you share briefly, I don't know if that's okay, but because you told us a little bit about Upscale, maybe what were some of the other, what else does that stand for?
Sure, absolutely. So you upscale prepare for performance on and off the stage. In other words, you never know who you're going to meet. And let's just say you go to yoga in the morning and you're running to the grocery store, you know, just have a jacket or something you can throw over, you know, so that you're not hiding in the aisles when you see that prospect, because sure enough, that's exactly when you're going to run into that person, you know, when you're not ready. So, you know, be prepared. And I could tell you some amazing stories about the places that I've met people on an airplane or in the ladies' room or whatever. So, you know, and then so Upscale is S for style and silhouette. So you definitely want to understand your unique style, because you want to be authentic and aligned. You want to speak volumes about who you are, and that's an important piece of it.
Right.
Then C is color and cut. So wearing colors that are flattering to your hair, skin, and eyes are, you know, going to make you look good, make you look younger. As you know, we did your color analysis to figure that out. And it also is a fabulous tool when it comes to making your life so much easier. Shopping, getting dressed in 3 minutes or less, organizing your closet. It's just a wonderful filter, you know, to know that for makeup, hair, the whole thing. And then A stands for attack the closet. Because I believe that if you have bad choices in your closet, then it's like going on a diet and having Twinkies and Oreos and ice cream around. You're going to eat it, right? Especially now. So we have to be careful. So and the other piece of attack the closet is that I'm a big advocate that when we hold on to things that no longer serve us, meaning clothes that don't fit us anymore, clothes that are outdated, clothes that have had the tag on them for a really long time and you've never worn them, all of that. If you, it's pulling you down. And energetically, when we release the things that don't longer serve us, it creates space for new things to come in. So there's kind of a, it's not that I love decluttering closets. It's just that I know that when my clients have the essential pieces that bring them joy, that they feel really super confident in, and that help them exude their, align their inner essence with their outer presence, then they're going to show up in the best version of themselves. And if you we go back to the mindset piece that you first asked me about, Gloria, is that, think about the beginning of your day and you walk into your closet and you're overwhelmed because it's packed full of stuff. You can't find it. You grab the same outfit that we tend to wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time. So, we have that go-to thing. We wear it all the time and you're stressed out. And then how does that affect the rest of your day? So, what if the shift was when you walk in, you get it, get dressed, feel good, confident, you're going to go have that meeting, you're going to rock it, you don't have to worry, that. So that's the A part. And then upscale, I forgot
L. What's L?
Learn to shop and love it.
Okay.
Because it all starts with making the right decisions when you're in the store, because if you don't, then it accumulates in the closet.
Right.
Or it has tags and you've spent all this extra money, or all of that.
Yeah.
And then E is evaluate quarterly. So I always, as you know, I'll be like, well, what do you have coming up? What kind of speaking gigs? Because nothing is worse than when you're a speaker and you have this big gig and you are so concentrated on your delivery and your presentation and all the other pieces that go along with it, then what you're wearing becomes an afterthought. And 55% of how people read you is visual before you open your mouth.
Oh,
so you better believe that what you wear is really important. It can be, think about it. Have you ever heard a speaker speak on it or seen them on a stage or on video or whatever, and it's just so distracting with what they're wearing or whatever that you can't hear what they're saying.
That's true.
So I always say plan ahead, because if you're waiting to the last minute and you're scurrying, you're going to way overspend. You're going to buy something that really is not the right thing, and it's going to be a hot mess.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the full Monty there, Gloria.
I love it. And see, this is what happens when you work from home. My husband was just poking his head in here. Like, I told him I was doing a podcast. Oh, well, that's life, it's all good. So before I let you go, because you've covered so much wonderful stuff here today, how can folks get a hold of you? Do you have any kind of special training available for people who want to know more? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, great. So one, if you want a little more insight on that upscale, you can simply go to my website, which is my name. Are you going to post it in?
I'll have it in the show notes. So,
okay, so you can put the links in it. Okay, great, perfect. Yeah. So it's, marcellascherer.com. You can go there and there's a free download, a couple things actually, so you can check that out. And then I am, in a timely sense, I do have a 7-week course about elevating your image and presence and impact so that you can be the magnet for your success. And it basically goes through each of, expanded so that you can really do a deeper dive around figuring out some of the things that we talked about today, so that you can show up as the best version of yourself, knowing what colors, having that $1 million mindset, because it always starts there, and really putting the whole thing together. So you can post the link depending on when people are listening to this as to when that might fall, but And there's one other thing is I have a image and presence assessment. So if you want to kind of figure out where you're at, you can go on there and get a free report. So that's also, we'll put the link for that below.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom as always, and projecting your amazing image and presence, which is always outstanding. So I appreciate you being here.
Well, Gloria, you're amazing. I'm so proud of you and all the wonderful things that you do. And your message is so important. And those that are listening will have to go listen to some of our other podcasts, because I know there's a lot of good meat and potatoes in what you put together. So thank you.
Well, thank you for that. And yes, that is a good segue. As a reminder, if you want to make sure that you don't miss any future episodes as well, be sure that you subscribe on the podcast platform of your choice. And also you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Gloria Rand Video. And until next time, I always encourage everyone to live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically.